Britt Giroli put out this piece in The Athletic, and it was about Juan Soto's time after he was traded from the Washington Nationals. He was talking about how the Nationals were family to him and it's never going to be like that again. And there were some quotes in there about Juan Soto with the Padres. Why is Juan wearing headphones? Some of the Padres coaches were at their wits' end. This was during like the hitters' meetings. So maybe some would take that as Juan's not paying attention. But he didn't want to hear about the opposing pitchers' tells or signs they might be tipping pitches. Juan's just a hitter. He wants to react. So it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal, at least when I read this article here. It was described as a small oddity, but the situation reflected the Padres' broader issues, which ranged from the clubhouse to the top of the front office. No one could agree on how to reach their newest star. Some in the organization thought Soto should be left alone. Others thought they should be in more contact with Soto, checking in with him daily, assessing his moods, blah, 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 blah. Soto said, according to numerous sources within the team, there's no money for me here. And he was referring, obviously, to Manny being locked up, Tatis being locked up, Bogarts being locked up. And yeah, is he lying there? I mean, no. And it's not like he told that to the media publicly. But I think maybe that's like sort of his mindset. Like, yeah, there's no money for me here. So, I mean, I don't want to question his commitment. But he also did say last year he was the one that admitted to them quitting during games when they get down. Like, he had to quit was part of the quote in Seattle. So there's that. I'm not like pissed off at Juan Soto. He got traded. In this article, he was saying how the Padres were telling him no, 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 and then out of nowhere, they traded him. I don't really know if I believe that. And even if the Padres said no, 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 Preller just said we're going to be looking at our best options. We're going to do what's best for the team for short term and long term. And so Soto took that as no, I'm not going to be traded because of course I'm best for the team. He didn't read on social media. He didn't read any reports, hear about anything. I mean, Soto was being talked about being traded to the Yankees for a while in the offseason. That was the big talking point around the Padres, was what was going to happen with Juan Soto. I think us Padres fans knew that Soto was going to get dealt. If the Padres wanted to create more room, more financial flexibility, Soto was going to get dealt. So I'm not really with him there about him being traded out of nowhere. What was interesting was him saying here about turning down the $440 million from the Nats. Padres never made an extension offer, which I'm not surprised by because of the contracts already locked up, obviously. He says here, you cannot be selfish. You have to think about the guys who come in behind you. That's what Judge did. In opting to test free agency, he made a great deal. Corey Seager, Ohtani, all these guys are setting the market for the guys after them. And if I were to take anything down there with what the Nats offered, it would make it different, tougher for guys coming up. Okay. Do I believe that Juan Soto really cares about the guys coming up and, oh, I need to not take $440 million from the Nats so that other guys coming up can get more money than me? Does he really care about that, or does he just care about getting the most money possible, and he was willing to bet on himself and not take 440, see where the market was going, and I'm a free agent in a few years. Maybe I'll be able to get over $500 million because these contracts continue to increase with these guys on long-term deals. So by the time I'm a free agent, look how much money I'm going to get. So yeah, I'll decline that. So the whole setting the market thing, that's probably Boris telling him to say that. I have a hard time believing those players are like, no, I really care about setting the market so that other guys can do better for me in the future. Like, it's $440 million, you know? I think he's trying to get the most money possible. I don't think he has like something against the Padres. I mean, maybe because they signed Bogarts instead of offering him an extension. But if we think We know that he wasn't going to take $440 million from the Padres because he rejected that from the Nationals. What would he have even accepted? If the Padres offered him $500 million, would he have accepted that? Or would he have said, well, you offered me 500, so I know you're going to at least give that in free agency. So now I'm going to use that against you, and I can maybe go get more money from you, or I can get more money from another team because I know that you're offering me $500 million. So, like, I just don't know. Um, he was not the reason why I don't think the Padres missed the playoffs last year. His OPS was over 900. He was still, I think, top 10 in MVP voting. Um, a San Diego source said in this article he's been fully Borisized. So like Boris is really getting into him, influence on him about what to say to the media and his mindset and all that. Which, yeah, I mean, I kind of buy that. Not surprised by that. Um, I I'll say this. I'll end this with this. With Soto, I never thought. Well, actually, that would be a lie. At the beginning of his tenure, before Bogart signed here, I was like, they're going to extend Juan Soto. Peter Seidler's going to get this done. I think that's what my mindset was. But when Bogarts happened, that's when things changed. Like, Soto's not staying. I think he sees it. I think everyone sees it. And I'm not surprised when that came out that they never even offered him an extension, like an actual extension on paper, because they couldn't afford that. You know, Peter Seidler, at least according to Scott Boras, kept telling Boras that we're going to find a way to keep Juan Soto. Like, Juan Soto is a Padre. Juan Soto is going to be on my team, is essentially what Peter Seidler was telling Scott Boras. But I think we all knew that that just wasn't going to happen. Peter can be as optimistic as he wanted to, but unless they found a way to trade Xander's contract, it wasn't going to happen. I think the Padres, Peter Seidler wanted Xander. He didn't know how much longer he was going to be living. He wanted to add a star, another guy that Padres fans could go buy their jersey because Padres fans know that that guy is going to be here long term. And Peter loved that about bringing guys in on long term deals. Like, these guys are not, this isn't the Oakland A's where you can't go get a jersey because you don't know, like, that guy's not going to be here in a year. No, these guys are going to be here for the rest of their careers. They're Padres, and I respect that about Peter. Was that the best decision to spend $280 million on Xander Bogaerts? No. But I think he wanted to go all out for 2023, coming off of making the NLCS in 2022. You get Tatis back. You have all that talent, Hader, Snell, all those guys. You bring in another star with Bogaerts. You have Manny coming off of what should have been an MVP season. Bogaerts, you have Soto for the last year or 2 more years, but you have them under control. Go all out. And to go all out, they gave Xander that long-term contract to bring another star in. I do respect Peter Seidler going all out. Now, again, like Bogaerts, I like Xander's mentality. It seems like he's a team player that wants to win, and he's a baseball rat. I love that. I can relate to him, obviously. Like, I loved it right from the get-go. The whole baseball struck thing at the press conference, loved it. But I can agree, like, it wasn't the smartest thing to give the guy $280 million. Once that happened, it just wasn't going to happen. So they went all out. They said, we can't control what Juan Soto is going to do, when he is a free agent. They sensed that we're not going to be able to sign him to an extension. Maybe even, like, regardless of what we offer him, we're not signing him to an extension. So how about let's control what we can control. We can have Soto and we can have Bogaerts. Well, Bogaerts long term, hopefully that can work out okay. And we can go all out for 2023. We don't know how long we're going to have Soto. Let's just go for it. And I think that's what happened. And they swung, they missed. But hey, in order to hit a home run, you have to swing the bat. And so I can at least respect that from the Padres, point of view, Peter Seidler's point of view.